Thank you so much. I'm here to welcome Mr. Jason. He is the co-founder and he's the co-founder of Invisible Children and is one of the directors of Invisible Children. He has actually inspired me a lot. He cannot stand anything like that is against a girl child or an orphan, especially with the war-affected children. He cannot stand anything that is against human life. He has inspired me a lot, and one thing that I know about him is he has tried his level best to see an invisible child to be visible today. And there is one thing a statement that has actually encouraged me a lot, and it reads, "We shall overcome because the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice." He wants to see justice prevail. He wants to see justice prevail basing on what the LRA has done in the northern part of Uganda. And join me as we welcome Mr. Jason from Invisible Children. Thank you so much.
You are more powerful than you think you are. Write it down. You are more powerful than you think you are, no matter where you are in life. If I was you right now, I would feel very inspired that you're in a room at Harvard. You have had the opportunity this weekend to hear so many speakers and so many statistics and so many ideas about partnerships. I genuinely would rather use the word friendships, because that is what I believe changes the world. When your friend is suffering, when your friend is caught in a war, you do something about it. So the most important thing that we can do today is make a friend that is not in this room, and make sure that you pour into them with the most opportunity for them to have a successful life. That will be your legacy. I have a friend named Jacob. I met him 8 years ago, and I traveled to northern Uganda, and he told me he was abducted from his home, forced to carry a gun, forced to witness his brother killed in front of him. When I met him, he wanted to take his own life because he had no options. No one was really looking after him, and he felt that there was no hope on the horizon. He has just finished his degree in becoming a lawyer to fight for justice in his country. 8 years later, he has been to America many times. I've been back to Uganda to visit him. And at the core of what we're doing at Invisible Children is just to say, these are our friends. These are our friends. And that's not to say you can't better yourself by reading and seeking out counsel and making the most wise, logical, statistic-driven decisions. But at the core of what you're doing, if you don't have a friend, then it's really in vain. Write this down. Intention rules your life. Intention rules your life. If you don't know what your purpose is in this room, I am telling you, you need to leave this building, and your first and foremost goal is to find your purpose. I truly believe that when you are born into this world, you were given a very specific and distinct purpose for living. A lot of you are saying, I'm trying to find my purpose. I've been reading books, I've been hunting it out there. The problem is, it's meant for only you. Do you understand that? Your purpose is meant for only you. It is a divine purpose for your life. How do you know you're doing your purpose? You know because it's that thing that you've done which makes you feel most alive, where you feel most yourself, where it feels like breathing, you're in the flow. For some of you, it's cooking. For some of you, it's running. For some of you, it's doing math. That is your purpose. That is what you love to do. It calls to you, and when you don't do it, when you don't fulfill the purpose that is in your heart will eventually destroy you. So it is of your utmost importance to go and find that and write it down. The intention of your life is important. The intention of this year is important. The intention of the remaining of today. What is your intention? Know that and write it down. The truth is, the reason why students in this room are so powerful and have been powerful throughout history is because in comparison to grown-ups, we have very little to lose as students, right? Well, we could lose our reputation, we could lose our credibility, and so it really is only this limited amount of fear that we have, but every large movement, from apartheid to the civil rights, has always been led by students. Because once you cross a certain barrier as an adult, you have so much more to lose: family, a steady income, and so you're not willing to take that risk. Promise me today that as you grow, you won't quit cleverly, you won't quit on your passion. And when I say passion, I truly mean what it is defined as: something you would die for. Something you would actually die for. That is what passion is. It is often misused, but you need to wake up to that purpose and to that passion that is within you. A lot of you already know it. A lot of you already know it. You're just too fearful to speak it into existence. Please speak it into existence. You playing small does not serve the world. I couple that with this idea. We are often confused in this culture, in this country, in this world by this idea of, it's called the idolatry of magnitude. That the idolatry of magnitude makes us think that we're not successful if we don't get an award, if we're not recognized in a magazine, if we don't have tons of followers on Twitter, we don't feel like we matter. I'm telling you the truth today, the majority of us in this room are going to have to be anonymous extraordinaries. Anonymous extraordinaries. You do what you are supposed to do, and if no one notices, that is okay. That is okay. Don't get caught up in the celebrity, in the, we need $1 million. We need to do all of these huge things. The idolatry of magnitude will paralyze you to ever actually doing anything. So don't be confused. Behind Gandhi, behind Dr. Martin Luther King, behind Mother Teresa, behind Paul Farmer are tens of thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands of anonymous extraordinaries to never be known. But what those individuals have done and are doing are saving lives, pursuing justice, and changing the world. It will not work if we aren't committed to being anonymous and seeking after that award and seeking out for that attention. I've learned throughout the last 8 years of doing the work we're doing, which is trying to stop the world's worst war criminal, the first war criminal indicted by the International Criminal Court 6 years ago. And today, he is still abducting girls, raping them at a young age of 14, 15, taking boys and turning them into child soldiers. And because he's operating in such a remote area of the world, Joseph Kony is difficult to find and difficult to bring to the International Criminal Court to be indicted. He has been indicted for war crimes, but we, the world at large, have not come up with a way to actually get him to this court system. That is my truest passion. That is what I'm working on. That is what I'm trying to do. Because if this continues for another 10 or 20 years and Kony continues to do what he's doing, we as a human species are in trouble. We are in trouble. I believe that the most powerful weapon we have is our stories. is our story. So if you don't know what your story is, or you're not able to articulate that, you need to find that. You need to do that. You need to say, this is my story, and here's where I came from. And all of our stories are different. You are not your sister. You are not your mother. You are not your brother. You are you. And there is no standard. You are your own standard. You are your own standard. The truth of the matter is, a lot of us have seen our generation, and they've analyzed our generation, and they've figured out how we socialize, and they've seen our priorities, and they've dissected our paradigms. And they have concluded that they are a social generation that is obsessed with themselves and doesn't have the ability or the tenacity to finish strong, to finish well. I pose to us today, I plead to us today, let's finish well. Let's finish this story strong. Because these statistics are mind-numbing, paralyzing, depressing. They fill the world and the air with guilt. And I'm here to tell you today, guilt is temporary. I'm here today, I have found that inspiration, joy, adventure, fun, and cool are the way to go. They are the way to go. I'm telling you now, if you will follow something that's fun, write this down. If you're not having fun in what you're doing, you are doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna die in like 40 or 50 years, okay? It's very short. Ask any of your parents or grandparents, they will tell you, oh, it went by so fast. Everyone says the same thing. So wherever age you are now, 19, 20, 21, you are gonna die in 50 to 60 years. Write it down. There's no way of escaping that. So what have you to fear? What have you to fear? The only fear you should have is not going out, stepping out, jumping off the bridge, build the plane as it's flying. Do not wait for the budget to come in. Do not wait for someone to tell you, you are now an official nonprofit. You know what Gandhi said? He goes, just start living the way you believe the future should be, and people will follow you. They will follow you because you know it's right, because it's coming from your heart. Start living like that today. Write this down. You are what you do every day. That is who you are. This is not a dress rehearsal. It's not. I know the world prepares us like that. Okay, elementary, primary, then you'll get secondary, then you'll do university, then you do your master's, then you get your PhD, then you're ready for the world. What is that? That is not okay. That's not how it's supposed to be, you guys. You are doing it now. This is real life. This is real life. The air we're breathing now is real. I'm existing and so are you. So we need to make some decisions, because the problems before us are daunting. They're huge and massive. But I'm telling you, those of us in this room that make the commitment and do what we're doing, whether it's in medicine or education or pursuing justice and the world's worst war criminal, I am telling you, if we make friendships around the globe, and it's not that hard. I mean, this dude named Zuckerberg who went here did it in like 6 years. He connected 1 billion people. 1 billion. We know that. Now what are we gonna do with that connectivity? What are we really gonna do with it? We better make some decisions, because our generation's gap of time is actually closing. And before you know it, your time as a student, your time as a young professional, your time as that passionate, idealistic dreamer will close. It happens to every generation. So you need to act now, and you need to do it today. And when you do it, you will do it with such ferocity and such dedication and such commitment that the world will look upon you and they will say you are crazy. They will. They're like, have you met her? She is crazy. She will stop at nothing. And this is what you need to tell them when they say, you're crazy. Your dream is crazy. You can't do that. There are systems, there are laws, there's the UN, there's US government, there's all these things that you need to deal with. They're already set up. They will tell you that, and they'll cut your wings. They'll just cut. That's their job in their mind, to discourage you. I'm gonna ground you a little bit and tell you what the world's really like. And you look at them in the eyes and you say, here's to the crazy ones. The misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs in the square holes. The ones who see things differently. They're not fond of rules and they have no respect for the status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them. But the one thing you can't do is ignore them. Because they change things. They push the human race forward. And while some may say they're crazy, I see genius. Because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. And you are the ones to do it in this room. I love each and every one of you. And I can't wait to see what this 1,000 group of people is going to do in the world. It is going to be phenomenal. Thank you for having me here.